Executives are a different type of person. Amazingly productive, keen, sharp intellects. They are a different type of person than likely you have ever sold into before. For them, time is everything. Time is a currency with which they exist from. Results are what they are looking for. You don't want to show an executive a product demo. You want to speak to them about what you can do for the executive. You want to ideate. You're not going to do a discovery call with an executive. Instead, you're going to do an analysis on your own of the market, of the opportunity, of the competition, of the industry, of the future, the past. You're going to come to the meeting with an executive entirely prepared for a conversation that could go very different than you might have even imagined or wanted it to. You need to focus with an executive. You might have only 60 seconds. And in that time, you need to be more influential than the executive's entire staff of thought leaders and researchers. What is it you have to offer? What is the vision you can paint and articulate for an executive to transform their company? How can you offer them a key to something entirely different that will make them more competitive, more productive, and more capable? Ultimately, you need to stand out. There are dozens of other salespeople, some very highly qualified and skilled, that are calling into your prospect, into your executives. What makes you stand out? What's going to put a smile on their face? If you think it's your product, and that's it, you're sorely mistaken. To stand out, you need to offer more with respect to your ability to advise and counsel that executive than the competition. You need to offer a vision, a solution, a way to get somewhere that enables that executive to win. Well, let's talk a bit about executives because they really are very different. They have extraordinarily busy schedules. They're often double or triple booked. They live via an admin, what we might call a gatekeeper, who controls their schedule. This means for them, time is immeasurably precious. They want to get the most out of every second. An executive, usually by 8 a.m, when the rest of us are getting up and having coffee, has already read 10 magazines, worked out, and addressed several critical business issues. These people function on little sleep. They're generally very type A, they're generally very impatient, and they're judgmental. They need to make snap decisions. They need to make decisions very rapidly. They thrive on data and information, and they rely on having people in their sphere of influence that can give them good information. If you can't earn their attention by being pertinent, enthusiastic, credible, relevant, then they're going to tune out. I mean, you'll never hold their attention. They're much more interested in the impact of what you're going to do as a provider of solutions for them than on the how or the demo or that whole bit. They're all about the what and the why and the impact. They don't really care about how you're going to get there for the most part. Sometimes there are exceptions to that, but the rule for you interacting with an executive would be to focus on how you're bringing an impact to them and what that impact will do for them. Less than 25% of salespeople understand an executive's business. This is what executives perceive. It's what the research bears out. Your job is to rise to that, to master and have fluency with the executive's business, which isn't just their operation. It's the competitive landscape. It's how they fit into the geosocial, political, economic sphere. It's the market itself. It's the opportunity in that market and what might distinguish this business from others so that they can be more successful. Executives are also sold to constantly. I mean, their email boxes and their voicemails are full of reps trying to reach them and sell to them. So most critically is you needing to look in the mirror and identify what makes you so damn special that that business person, that executive would want to speak to you. You need to be different. You need to stand out in the crowd. It's not easy. And one of the greatest words I like is potency. How are you going to be potent versus impotent? What is it about you that's potent? What do you bring to a meeting with an executive that has any measure of potency? Most likely nothing today. So you need to study and learn and practice such that when you engage with an executive, you're ready to do so. You're ready to have a point of view about what's going to make that executive and his or her business more successful. You've done your research in depth. And I don't just mean looking on a few LinkedIn groups or a couple of web searches. I mean going to trade shows, studying the competition's website, reading, of course, any publicly available financial disclosures, understanding seasonality or other variability in the market space that this business plays in. I mean, you got to really do some research. And you should really know everyone at that business. I mean, from the receptionists to the janitors to the directors and VPs. The more people you know, then the more you're part of what we would call that ecosystem. If you're talking to an executive and she references you that you should speak with someone else and you say, yeah, I know that person, we've been engaging in conversation, well, you're really one up there. So never think that you shouldn't be engaging everyone in an organization when you're going to be speaking to an executive or in general. You got to build a reputation and a brand. What does that mean? That means that instead of perhaps having your LinkedIn talk about your sales skills, it should talk about how you're a thought leader in whatever business or market you're selling into. It should be something that you've published articles on. You should be a member of chat groups and of groups and industry forums, and you should know who the thought leaders and players are in those spaces, such that not only are they a familiar brand to you, but you become familiar to them. And that you're not all about the sale. You're about that executive success. You need to be more than about a sale. If all you want to do is to make a sale and run off, you're never going to get the business. Contact us for further information and further training. We have a whole setup on executive conversations, including the active construction of knowledge through role play. Thank you.